Give me a light to light my way. Truth is the light, so wise men say. And so this actually, Swamiji wrote as a round. So traditionally with a round, you do it together 3 times, and then you do the parts. And so you have probably sung rounds. So I'll sing one part and Ram will sing the other. And what I want you all to do is, on Zoom you can do whatever you want, but in the church, just divide through the half. And how about Ines sings with me and Kyle sings with Ram, and you split the congregation in half. So we'll first do it together 3 times, and then we'll split into the round. And I'll have you start it, and then I'll come in. Okay. So, but all together now. Give me a light to light my way. Truth is the light, so wise men say. Give me a light to light my way. Truth is the light, so wise men say. Give me a light to light my way. Truth is the light, so wise men say. Okay, so now Ram will sing with his half. Kyle, I believe. And Inez and crew will follow me.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me
a light to light my way. Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light to light my way.
Give me a light so wise men say.
Give me a light to light my way.
Truth is a light so wise men say.
Give me a light to light my way. Truth is a light, so wise men say. Just sit for a moment. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. And on your inhale, just feel the energy of the song spreading through your body, filling your heart with joy and light, drawing that energy, the vibration of the song, the words, the music, the energy. Take it in, body, mind, and soul. And this is how we prepare for meditation in such a beautifully effective way, through singing and then letting that energy kind of awaken. So this chant taking us into meditation is I am Om. Omnipresent I am Om, all-pervading I am Om, all-blissful I am Om. Om, Om, come to me, oh come to me. Divine Mother, come to me. Oh my Guru, come to me, come to me. Divine Mother, come to me. Come to me, oh, come to me. Divine Mother, come to me. Come to me, oh, come to me. Divine Mother, come to me. Come to me, oh, come to me. I am home, I am home, I am home, I am home. Omnipresent I am home, all pervading I am home, all blessed I am home. Home, come to me, come to me, oh, come to me. Divine Buddha, come to me, come to me, oh, come to me. Oh, my Buddha, come to me, come to me, oh, come to me. Oh, my Buddha, come to me, come to me, oh, come to me. I am home, I am home. I am home, I am home. Omnipresent I am home, omnipervading I am home, all blessed I am home. Come to me, come to me, oh, come to me. Come to me, oh, come to me. Come to me, oh, come to me. Divine Mother, come to me. Come to me, oh, come to me. Oh, my Buddha, come to me. Come to me, oh, come to me. I am home, I am home, I am home. I am home, I am home, I am home, I am home. Omnipresent I am home, all pervading I am home, all blessed I am home. Come to me. Come to me, oh, come to me. Oh, my Guru, come to me. Come to me, oh, come to me.
Right, let's come into a comfortable, upright, seated position. Bring your awareness, your focus at the divine spiritual eye, the point between the eyebrows. And for the next 5 minutes, see if you can keep 100% of your concentration on the body's flow of breath and the spiritual eye. If you feel to, visualize one of the great masters at that point. And from your heart, call, come to me, come to me. We'll meditate for 5 minutes.
Remaining in this inward state. Listen to affirmations for self-healing. This week's affirmation is success. True success means transcendence. It means finding what we really want, which is not outward things, but inner peace of mind, self-understanding, and above all, the joy of God. Outward success means transcendence also. It means rising above past accomplishments to reach new levels of achievement. Success can mean accepting failure too, when such acceptance helps us to transcend a false ambition. Every failure, moreover, can be a stepping stone to highest achievement. Success should not be measured by the things accomplished, but by our increasing understanding, ability, and closeness to God. Please affirm after me in a loud voice to command the attention of the conscious mind. I leave behind me both my failures and accomplishments.
I leave behind me both my failures and accomplishments.
What I do today will create a new and better future.
What I do today will create a new and better future,
Filled with inner joy.
filled with inner joy.
And now in a more conversational tone. I leave behind me both my failures and accomplishments.
I leave behind me both my failures and accomplishments.
What I do today will create a new and better future.
What I do today will create a new and better future,
Filled with inner joy.
filled with inner joy.
Now taking it deeper into the subconscious in a whisper. I leave behind me both my failures and accomplishments. What I do today will create a new and better future filled with inner joy.
What I do today will create a new and better future filled with inner joy.
And now in silence, taking it even deeper into the subconscious. I leave behind me both my failures and accomplishments. What I do today will create a new and better future filled with inner joy. Now in deep silence, bringing your attention up to the point between the eyebrows, taking it into the superconscious mind. I leave behind me both my failures and accomplishments. What I do today will create a new and better future filled with inner joy. Prayer. O creator of galaxies and countless blazing stars, the power of the universe is thine. May I reflect that power in the little mirror of my life and consciousness.
And now we'll have our we'll have our Rays of the One Light weekly reading.
So this is a reading from Rays of the One Light, weekly commentaries on the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita by Swami Kriyananda. Week 1, at the heart of silence, the eternal word. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. In the Gospel of St. John, chapter 1, these immortal lines appear. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Human vision beholds individuality and separation everywhere. Divine vision beholds the oneness of cosmic vibration, of which all things, no matter how diverse, are manifestations. Cosmic sound, the word of God, and cosmic light, these are eternal. The world as revealed to us by our senses is illusory. In Autobiography of a Yogi, Paramhansa Yogananda relates an early experience he received of the divine aspect of reality. Sitting on my bed one morning, I fell into deep reverie. What is behind the darkness of closed eyes? This probing thought came powerfully into my mind. An immense flash of light at once manifested to my inward gaze, divine shapes of saints sitting in meditation posture in mountain caves, formed like miniature cinema pictures on the large screen of radiance within my forehead. Who are you? I spoke aloud. We are the Himalayan yogis. The celestial response is difficult to describe. My heart was thrilled. I long to go to the Himalayas and become like you. The vision vanished, but the silvery beams expanded in ever-widening circles to infinity. What is this wondrous glow? I am Ishwara. I am light. The voice was as murmuring clouds. I want to be one with thee. Out of the slow dwindling of my divine ecstasy, I salvaged a permanent legacy of inspiration to seek God. Wise are we if we meditate on that experience of Yogananda's and salvage from it even a breath of his inspiration. For quite simply, there is nothing else. As the Bhagavad Gita says in the 7th chapter, I make and unmake this universe. Apart from me, nothing exists, O Arjuna. All things, like the beads of a necklace, are strung together on the thread of my consciousness and are sustained by me. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Oh, oh, oh.
Good morning again, everyone, and Happy New Year. Nice to see everybody. So our affirmation this morning is success. And I hate to admit it, but I think we failed at Duty and Ram's singing challenge. For those at home, there was a lot going on here, trying to keep up with the 2 round singing parts. So we're going to start this morning with Whispers from Eternity. And I'd invite you today, I'm going to read this a little bit slower than usual, and I'd ask you to focus at your spiritual eye and just mentally repeat the words after me. Deep concentration. And this is number 103, demand for the opening of the spiritual eye to find God in everything. And you can just listen. There is a postcard, but that's for later if you want to just close your eyes and listen. And in the book, Yogananda said this demand especially should be repeated mentally with deep concentration until the prayer thought becomes fixed in your superconscious by the conviction born of deep faith. So just bring your awareness inward. My eyes are enthralled, O Father, with the beauty of earthly flowers, with life's passing scenes, and with the sailing silent clouds. Everywhere, all I see hints at thy hidden presence. Open that eye in me, which sees only thee. With that gaze, may I behold thee above, beneath, all around, within, and outside me. Teach me in all things to see only thee. Open in me that eye which beholds everywhere thy hidden but ever subtly reigning wonder. So for those in the church, I did put a little postcard with that affirmation on your seat. And for those at home that aren't here today, I'll leave some in the front entryway. And for those that are at a distance, again, it's number 103, demand for opening the spiritual eye. So today, as the beginning of the year, I'm going to talk a little bit about practices for the new year, ways that we can reinvigorate our spiritual life. And this is just a little invitation if you'd like to put this on your altar and make this a daily practice before, after, probably after your meditation, to just repeat that demand to master, because that is really what we're trying to do on this path of self-realization, is open the spiritual eye. And that's what today's reading is about. Master had this beautiful experience as a young boy of cosmic consciousness because his spiritual eye opened and he was able to receive the light of God. He was able to hear the thunder of Om that is all around us. It pervades every atom of creation. But because we are in material world, ego consciousness, we don't see that. It's obscured from our daily vision. Human vision beholds individuality and separation everywhere. That's from today's reading. And that's true. When we're living in this ego consciousness, in this physical body, we see ourselves as separate. It's just by nature. But in reality, divine vision beholds the oneness of cosmic vibration, of which all things, no matter how diverse, are manifestations. So that's our true nature, is that we are part of this great web of creation, this great light and sound of Om that's at the very center of every atom within us. And as reflected in Master's Whispers poem, our human eyes, the eyes of the senses, can only intuit a little flicker of that divine effulgence. We see it in nature, we see it in each other, but it's nothing compared to the true vibration of God's light and sound. And the only way for us to realize that or experience that is with our energy eyes. You could say our spiritual eye at the Agya chakra is an energetic eye that also expands to the ears. And that energy eye lives in our heart as well. So the more that we pay attention to this part of the astral spine, through all of our practices are designed by nature to bring our awareness up to the point between the eyebrows and to start to open that energy center. And through that opening, we hear. It's not just a vision, it's hearing the cosmic vibration. Because we're in a material body, we think of the senses as being individually rooted. We can only see with the eyes, hear with the ears, feel with the hands. But in reality, none of that is true. That when we open the spiritual eye, everything is open. The doors are wide open to experience the world in its true, magnificent form, which is light and sound. The light and sound of creation are made of the divine vibration of love. So really at the heart of everything is the vibration of love, God's love for us. And when we tune into that love and we purify our hearts, today in our purification ceremony, we offered something that we know is blocking us. And that's a pattern or a practice that we do every day through meditation, is ask God to release those things that block the love in our heart, the natural love in our heart, that vibration of God's love. And that's what we're here to do. Really, that's all we're here to do in this incarnation. So I just want to talk about a few things we can do this year as spiritual practices. And these are just suggestions. Each one of us is going to have something, but even if it's just 5 extra minutes of something you're already doing. So the first one, which we just spoke about, is maybe reading this affirmation every day and really consciously working on opening up the spiritual eye. And Yogananda said, just by closing your eyes and bringing your awareness here for a moment, you just start to bring the Kundalini up the spine. So if we think of God that way in our, we have a discipleship class going on now, and our homework over the last couple of weeks was to think of God during the day. Just think of God for a moment and say, I love you, or thank you. And if we do that and bring that affirmation here, again, it helps to open that energy center. The other thing that's a really powerful thing to do, maybe this year as an intention, and for some of you, you already do this every day because of the work that you do, but spend time in nature. For others, like myself included, by the time I get in the car and I drive to work, I'm inside a lot. And yesterday, the first day of the year, Ellis and I, my daughter, took just 2 of our dogs to the beach. And when you're out at the ocean or you're in the forest or in a meadow, you really feel God's presence in a powerful way. And within that, we're always doing. So even when we're outside, sometimes we're hiking or we're running or we're gardening, but just take a moment to just be quiet and to be still. And, by sitting on the earth and closing your eyes, really focus on using that energetic eye within us to experience nature, to feel God's presence in your heart with your eyes closed, to really use the energy eye to feel everything that's happening around you, to feel the vibration coming through the earth, through your spine. When I lived in California, a good friend of mine, we went every weekend to Muir Woods, where the redwood forest is. And, people make fun of it. They say tree huggers, right? But we really were tree huggers. We would go and lean against these mighty trees. And when you lean against a redwood tree or any mighty tree and close your eyes, you feel the energy of that tree running in an upward south to north direction, the sap of the tree, the life force of the tree. And by closing your eyes and feeling that, you can also see the energy. You can see the light of God moving through the body. And we can do that here in Rhode Island as well. So again, just finding that little time to connect maybe this year with God in nature is a great practice to bring in. And speaking of these mighty trees, I want to talk a little bit about a third way that we can strengthen our relationship with God. And that's through our Sangha, through this beautiful spiritual family that we have. We're so lucky that we can come together every Sunday, whether it's in person or online. We have all sorts of meditations throughout the week. There's classes we can take. And it's a really powerful part of our practice to use the energy of each other to rise up together. It's a really important part of what we do. And the giant redwood and sequoia trees, many of them are between 2,000 and 3,000 years old. And they've outlived generations of people. They've weathered high winds and great storms. They stand high above all the other trees in the forest. But surprisingly, they also have the shallowest root systems of most trees. Their roots don't go very deep, but rather their roots spread out in this great net, and the roots of each tree grab onto the tree next to them, and then they expand in the forest floor. So if they were standing alone, they would probably only survive for a decade or two because of the wind and things that happen in nature. But by standing together with this great web of roots, they grow tall and strong. And it's like that with us, right? With our beautiful spiritual family, that we all go through times of weakness, all of us during the year. We've all been challenged so much over the last 2 years, and we go through feelings of loneliness and isolation and depression. All of us go through that. But when we have each other, to come together and meditate together, to worship God together, we really, really strengthen ourselves, and we strengthen our whole Sangha. We've worked miracles this year. We for those who don't know, we own the land behind us. We officially own the land behind us, thanks to Roy and some other benefactors. And those are the kind of miracles that we can work together as a group. And we're going to be working that land in the spring, I think, a community garden. So that's a beautiful way for us to be out in nature and to be together as a community, even if you come alone one day and do some weeding or something. It's a beautiful way for us to really join our energy and expand that root system that we have. And of course, God and Guru are really guiding all of this. You know, that's the foundation, that's the root system that we all are part of, is the love of our Guru and of God. And the last thing that we can do, I just want to say one more thing. So, you know, we've all been through these really challenging times. And as we go into this new year, we don't know what's coming, right? Just like we didn't know, you know, New Year's Eve of 2020, we had no idea what would happen for the next 2 years. But we are loved and protected. And as devotees of a great guru, that's our birthright, is that love and protection. And I'm just going to tell this quick story because Ram is on today and he was with me many years ago. We visited with an Indian saint called Shivananda Murti, who was visiting New England. And during that satsang with him, he said to us, it was just Ram and Giovanna and myself, and Dick Sheeny was with us and some friends who were devotees of this guru. He looked at us and he said to us very, very pointedly, as devotees of Guru Yogananda, you're all blessed and protected. And he said, he said, hard times are going to be coming to the world. And he also said that New England was also going to be spared a lot of the things that happened in the world. And that as devotees of Guru Yogananda, we're blessed and protected. So what a beautiful thought, right? To take that in. And we know that anyway. We didn't need that, but it was a beautiful confirmation for us to hear that. So the last thing I want to talk about for things that we can do for the coming year is to focus on success. And today's affirmation was on success. And cultivating spiritual success is an intentional daily practice. Intentional practice. So we could use our little affirmation for opening the spiritual eye as one of them, or 5 more minutes of energization or meditation. But it's an intentional practice. And the important thing is that Master talked about our willpower all the time. We have the willpower to overcome negative tendencies, negative habits, doubts, thoughts of limitation. And he also said, even more importantly, is our won't power. That part of us that says, I won't give into that temptation. I won't give into that negative way of thinking. I won't go into that behavioral pattern that pulls me down. So think about success. And if we fail, Yogananda always said, just brush it off and leave it behind you right away. Just pick yourself up and leave it behind you. Don't dwell on it. You know, success is really just, you know, keep going, keep going. A saint is just a sinner who never gave up. You know, that's our motto with Yogananda. A saint is just a saint is a sinner who never gave up. I thought I said it backwards. But isn't that true? You know, we have these little falls every day in thought and behavior, whatever it is, in emotional, in our heart, and just acknowledge it, but then put it behind you and keep going. My dear friend at Ananda, Savitri, who is a very powerful, wonderful teacher. She's retired now, but she used to say that we needed to use CPR to stay inspired and successful on the spiritual path. CPR, and she said that was constant process of re-inspiration. And I love that, constant process of re-inspiration. So every day, whatever little thing we can do to re-inspire our commitment to finding God and to finding self-realization in our life. And Master's given us, you know, more than a lifetime of inspiration with these beautiful teachings. There's just so much for us to draw from that, you know, we could spend this whole life, this whole incarnation on this one path and just scratch the surface. So that's something to think about too, to really go deep, you know, go as deep as you can. So I just want to end with something that Master wrote in one of his New Year talks. He wrote, "Enter the portals of the new year with new hope. Remember, you are a child of God. Be proud that you are a child of God. What have you to fear? No matter what comes, believe it is the Lord who is sending it to you, and you must succeed in conquering those daily challenges. Therein lies your victory. Do his will. Nothing can hurt you then. He loves you everlastingly. Think that, believe that, know that, and suddenly one day you will find you are immortally alive in God. So those 4 little suggestions for the new year, cultivate the practice of the spiritual eye. Really put some time and energy into maybe learning the affirmation and just bringing your awareness there every day. Spend some time in nature every day and really close your eyes and allow the energy eye, the spiritual eye, which is light and sound, to experience God's vibration in nature. And spend time with the Sangha. Let's help each other to rise this year even more than we have. And then finally, just focus on success. Let's not focus on failure, but just focus on success, and we'll help walk each other home in God.
Now we'll have our offertory prayer. Please take what you would like to give, place it in your right hand, and repeat after me. Divine Mother,
Divine Mother,
we offer to thee the fruit of our labors.
we offer to thee the fruit of our labors.
Bless this offering,
Bless this offering,
that it serve as a channel of thy light
that it serve as a channel of thy light
to truth-seeking souls everywhere.
to truth-seeking souls everywhere.